It's a mini episode.
Hello and welcome to You Gotta Check This Out with Mike and Dre. I'm the Mike, and I'm attempting to get this train back on the rails. We're coming off our 3-week Blitzcast and wanted to get back in gear with a Minisode. So this week, we take the clips that didn't make the Blitzcast and turn them into Minisode Gold for you. We'll start with Megan's explanation of One Piece, and I'll see you at the other end.
Do you want the nerdy response? And I apologize for this. I thought the full name was live action. I just wrote it in our notes.
One Piece live action?
I wrote it as live action One Piece, not the live action version of One Piece.
It's the live action version of One Piece. Okay, so One Piece has been running since the late 90s. The manga is really long. Season 1 of the anime is over 1,000 episodes.
Awesome.
Because it used to be a weekly anime, so they'd have to put in filler so it didn't catch up with the manga, which used to be very normal with the shonen action anime. Mm-hmm. And they finally decided to go to seasonal format because One Piece is one of the greatest epics ever written, but the pacing can be really hard sometimes in the show. Mm-hmm. Because they have to fill dead air so that they don't catch up to the manga.
I only know this through vicariously through pop culture. Is this the one with the straw hat guy,
yes,
Luffy?
Straw hat Luffy, the straw hat
Luffy.
crew, yeah.
Yes, okay, exactly.
A couple of those. I saw the little knife fight where the guy fights with just the sing. I've seen the animated version, and that is an amazing scene.
Yeah. Yeah, Hawkeye's Mihawk. Yeah, the premise of One Piece is so silly, and a lot of the powers and everything are so silly, but in the middle of it, you have this shadowy government controlling things in One Piece's world, and these pirates, and they're the Marines, and it's emotional, and it's funny, and there's political stuff. The only thing it's missing is real romance. There's almost no romance in it.
That is a perfect way to segue us back to Babylon 5, which
is
Speaking of no romance.
I turn this into talking about One Piece.
So I'm not going to lie.
No, that's kind of the idea here is we want to talk about what you want to talk about. Because we're trying not to talk about Babylon 5.
Okay.
We are going to have to drag back. That is true, by the way. And that does happen. And it's when done well, that's a cool thing. When not done well, you're like, what just happened? Carin, you can stay on mute, but you're next up. We're just getting you prepped, and you get a spoiler of what awaits you. You get a a prophecy,
a premonition of what's to come.
Did you say isn't it premonition?
Premonition. It's before I emit the thought to Carin.
Megan, help us out here. Isn't the pronunciation premonition?
Premonition.
Yeah, but I never, you've heard this podcast if you listen to it. I never bother myself with pronunciations. Pronunciations. You do pronunciations.
And Mike, I'm just going to drop dead of a heart attack like Londo and have to have dreams to come back if you keep making me laugh like it's.
So that's the thing is Michael put it on in the background, and then I'm like, I'm not going to watch this. And then some of them, I'm like, oh, okay, no, I am going to watch. So 100% they get me to put the book down. I can't remember which ones, but there's definitely been episodes where Mike's had them in the background and they don't stay in the background.
Well, there was the one with the religious family who wanted their child. They were forcing their child to either come in the religion or they were going to kill them. And everybody on Babylon 5 was trying to show why that wasn't the plot. And you were sucked in by that one.
That was before Carin's episode, so we cannot count that.
That is, yeah, you're right. That is way earlier. I can't remember a single time when you definitely came into the episode with me. But then again, I usually just assume you're just reading a book on the couch on the side and not paying attention.
In all fairness, I'm generally reading a book on the couch on the side. But there were a couple, or it'd be parts of it. And I would be like, wait, who's that? Wait, what's going on? And you'd be like, oh, come on.
What, you haven't seen all of this?
Natured when I start asking questions about stuff and you help me catch up with things.
Well, it's practice. I have to practice for the podcast. And it's, you want to know about Babylon 5? An opportunity. Well, David, do you have your video on? It's easier if you.
Yeah. And if not, no worries, by the way.
David doesn't want to show his face here.
No, I want video.
Yeah, we want video too. We want to see what you look like, and it's easier to talk to you. Oh, David the Monkey Stampor! Oh, it's David the Monkey Stampor! Oh, now I want to make this a video podcast. David has magically transformed into a tiny monkey and is dancing. Oh no,
I don't know. He still looks like a monkey.
If this was Mike with this was Mike puppeting a monkey for like 15 minutes, I still would have been okay with it, just as an FYI.
There has been a lot of theories with me and David where that might actually be what's going on. We just have to figure out who's the monkey. I got this nice. Speaking of visual things on a podcast, I have this awesome shirt I got from David in the mail. And to describe to our listeners, it's a "What's in the Box" shirt, and it has everybody from Seven giving these insane smiles. And at the bottom, there's Gwyneth Paltrow just kind of peeping out of the box with a huge smile on her face. I love it. It creeps out Andy.
It creeps Andy out so much, which is funny because Andy hasn't obviously seen Seven yet.
I had to start with the monkey because you had mentioned that it's really important in podcasts to bring props along. So
props and anything visual that goes along that really helps the audience. They can mind see it.
Excellent.
Theater of the mind is what we're all about here.
And I'm seeing Dave in the description, but Mike keeps calling you David. Preference how I refer to you throughout your 15 minutes of fame.
Oh man, no, whatever feels natural, man.
I called you poop for 10 years because we were in the middle of a conversation and you had to go off and take a 15-minute poop. So I called you poop for 15 years.
Absolutely. It's actually probably been more like 30, Mike.
I stopped at some point. The best episode we can all agree in any Superman movie before that was in Superman 3, where the henchwoman is changed into a cyborg. And which has haunted my dreams pretty much nightly since I was about 5 years old. Is there anything in the new Superman James Gunn movie you think that would hold a candle to that scene as far as a nightmarish quality?
Nightmarish quality? That's a good question. Maybe the nanobites going into Superman, like going down his throat or whatever, which again I thought was bad, horrible, and stupid. But I could see how it could be terrifying to the next generation.
I was kind of hoping I'd lead you into saying the way they treated Superman's character.
I will say, oddly enough, funny because I think we'll get a little extra time in this segment. Actually, talk Babylon 5 season 5.
Nope, Superman talk.
I did my best, Mike, on previous guests, but now that we burned a lot of content, we actually might have to go into the show.
No, because I had a thought on the whole Superman scene that David and I have to revisit. Because you remember that scene where he's saving everybody and the squirrel is there and he has to save the squirrel, right? That was one of the things you had a problem with. And I'm going to even more defend that scene because we always have what I think of as the Superman problem. Marvel had this when they have Captain Marvel in it. And it's you have a character that's powers could solve anything at any moment. How do you show that they can also be a liability on the team? And that one shot of Superman saving the squirrel shows that, if Superman's on your team, he's a liability in certain ways where he has to save everybody and has to do everything right. And that could get in the way of the...
Sorry to tag in with Mike, right? To get the steel chair to go on David's back with this as well.
My steel chair, you stole it from me and hit me with it.
No, I hit David. Mike, we're definitely one of those tag teams that gets in their own way. But with that being said, Captain Marvel, there is a one-liner, right, where she says that in the Marvel movie. They're like, where the heck were you? And she's, I'm a galactic police officer and you're one planet. And not even that, one quadrant. She's, Thanos is wrecking your neck of the woods. There's other neighborhoods. So I will...
Yeah, but that's a tell, not show. I like the Superman because it was a show in the movie, and it made you feel it more rather than explain it.
But so here's where I get to play both sides. I like the reasoning, right? I like what you're saying, Mike, but I am kind of on David's side where the show, that would have been better than a tell, not show because the show was kind of stupid, but I enjoyed it still.
So I guess I would say that I do agree that this new Superman is a liability. But no, actually, so here's a bigger problem. It's over a park, right? So this monster falls down and kills a bazillion animals, probably people, because there's no way it avoids killing everything. But by God, we got to see him save that one squirrel or whatever. And I think it's a complete misrepresentation of Superman. Everyone always says, he can't be this powerful. Oh, he's too powerful. But if you look at his rogue gallery, my God, it's Darkseid, it's Brainiac, it's Lobo, it's all these superhuman beings, fellow Kryptonians. There's a whole bunch of villains and universal enemies that can thwart him. Lex Luthor can thwart him with his mind, which is such a fascinating dynamic where, okay, it's, hey, the super strength versus the super mind, and like even with all those powers he can still be beaten. But no, let's tone it down a little bit. Let's make him save a squirrel.
So by the way, first off, I absolutely, if our time allows, am down for an episode on Superman and how I'm going to cough myself to death trying to drink water. But no, absolutely would be down with that. This is going to be fantastic for a mini episode, possibly not even a Babylon 5 mini episode.
We got a lot more podcast after Babylon 5 is over, Dre, so we'll have time.
I did want to throw this out, by the way, that my hot take is that Batman and Lex Luthor are just the same character. If anything, it's funny because Batman is a more insane Lex Luthor. But again, we will save that.
Lex Luthor has more focus, I would say that, than Batman. I don't know. Batman does have a lot of focus when he wants to. I'd have to think about
He's
this.
less sane because he like dresses up as a bat. So like the
That's
more
true.
insane. Actually, that
But
I would.
Lex dresses up in a giant green mech costume, though,
but that's
too.
to defend
Sometimes
himself against Superman. But I guess what I'm saying is you have to be an insane capitalist to be good at all, because if you're not fully insane, you're evil. Fun topic. All right, now, by the way, back
episode
to,
at hand.
Yeah.
I had one side question before I head out.
Yes.
Do the movies, are they any good? I
No,
saw
oh my
the
God,
review.
do not watch the movies.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
We covered an entire movie, in the beginning one, which is actually supposedly the
It's
best of them.
Best of them.
Oh.
And it just kind of recovers ground that was completely covered in season 3 and 4 that you already knew. And that's about the height of the movies.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're a completionist, go for it. I mean, it gives you more of the characters and more time you get to spend with them, but it's all stuff that you already knew happened.
No, it's okay. Pass.
David,
Okay.
thank you for being our longest Royal Rumble contestant to date, although our worst quiz taker, but that's because Mike hates you, which, we kind of knew ahead.
Totally. I do really like it when he transforms into a monkey. That's my favorite thing about David, why our friendship has, endured over the years.
So are you a monkey
He did
that
it!
stomps, or do you stomp monkeys? That becomes the question.
I
I don't know if the
It's
audience can
both.
see your
Is
name.
Is a monkey that stomps other monkeys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Both.
it's all
Both.
monkey talk.
Beautiful.
It's monkeys.
That's true.
It's stamping. It's
It's all
stamping.
monkey
and
talk on the
monkeys.
podcast.
You
Everywhere.
get to say you
Okay,
are better
cool.
than David.
I can't
Hopefully,
wait.
David, I'm not doing too much. I'm trying to lean into being Mike's tag team partner with the thing, but as we've just met, hopefully it's, I think the world of you and you're awesome, and I don't mind breaking kayfabe to be like, I'm leaning into a bit, but I don't want you to leave thinking less of me.
Attack. Just attack.
I have to thank you, Dave, because you've really lowered the stress for me, because I'm aware that the person before me apparently got it all wrong. So I got
Twice.
nowhere to go but up.
Oh, I do have that list somewhere that Mike sent me. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Oh.
If it'll let me.
Not
that.
I'm the least musician,
there
person
there
on
it
the
is.
show. Well, 3 musicians. I imagine you could all just start grooving here, randomly pull out
I fear
instruments.
the
Okay,
latency
yes.
would make it
I got it, I
borderline
got it.
unlistenable to an audience. Now I'm
Or would
going
it
to
be
keep my
like
mouth
that?
shut.
Or would it be that row your boat thing where it's, you have someone coming later and you're
Right.
all back and forth?
around.
I need to get my Wi-Fi a lot worse to get it to lag enough to be a row, but I think it's worth looking into. I've got my router right here. I could just start hitting it with a hammer.
I'm throwing that out to you musicians as an idea to make a video thing where it's a fake, where it does seem like it's musicians practicing and there is so much internet
Yeah.
lag, but the final thing comes together as a cohesive. I guess it's called a row. I guess
And it's like a
thing.
metaphor for how, the internet connects us, but also separates us at the same time. It goes into a museum. It's
Yeah,
taken out of this small
Evan,
town.
I can't believe I'm telling someone this. Stop making my bad ideas good. Stop fixing things. You're like Felix and Wreck-It Ralph. You keep, it's terrible. You're like, actually, it could be good. I'm like, fine, fair, okay.
Fine, fixed.
Carl, did that give you enough stall time to find? And by the way, sorry, I'm taking this off ramp to make this pun. Jeff May and I once went shopping at a Mexican grocery store that also had a panaderia. Apologies to all Spanish speakers whose ears just bled at someone whose last name is Alvarez butchering the beautiful language of Spanish, but we were going through and it was close to Day of the Dead, the celebration, we celebrate our ancestors, etc. And Mike saw some pan dulce that had a, Day of the Dead thing on it. And he went, Day of the Bread. I think it's hilarious. No one else does, including Jeff, who made the joke, but I get an excuse to do on a podcast. Day of the Bread. That would have been a better show, by the way. Day of the Bread. It was Day of the Dead. All right, so here's what you were in for.
And
if
the
you were
bread's
watching.
the yeast of our worries.
Yes!
Oh, God. Oh.
Okay, Carl, you're behind by 1. Evan, you're already up 1 point.
Chair to the face. Oh my God, in the ring. Evan came up with a surprise.
Yeah, so this one seems to be getting worse, but it's just, don't commit genocide. Just, it seems to be kind of a problem. So, just going to keep plugging that. I usually plug that on my podcast.
Yeah, the Logan Trent on Blue Sky keeps saying it, and people keep saying, the exact opposite, and blamed you.
Yeah, even so
Logan.
weird. That was like one of the 2 truths and a lie as you were coming on. The only alien species that's introduced in season 5 is introduced by having committed genocide. So I don't know if it's having the opposite effect if you're going around and talking about this. This is really bad.
Yeah, it's just maybe I got to repackage the messaging, get, a cool slogan or a jingle.
A friendlier way to say, don't do genocide.
No genocide. Don't do it. No genocide.
Oh my God. This is just a thing I've loved that joins you with many of our guests is we have so many guests with so many great things we could discuss. And as an FYI, on a sister podcast, this The Nerd with Dre and Jeff, we recently did the Darkstalkers television show, which is terrible.
That is excellent. Yes.
No, it's not. It is not excellent.
Wow. But what was funny is during that episode, I'm literally trying to talk to Jeff about how Darkstalkers, the game itself, introduced air blocks and the history. And I was just looking up how Street Fighter, as an example, also Capcom introduced, combos and all this cool stuff. And Jeff's, that's great. We have to talk about this horrible TV show, which ironically, Meta Mike, we're in the same boat. I would love to stay there to talk fighting games, but we have to talk.
I think I have a way for us to get a conversation about fighting games with Colin sometimes in the future, but that's, spoilers for way in the future of the podcast.
If it's not in the future of this episode, Mike, you've just dangled something in front of me and squashed its hope. All right.
No, I love treating you like a kitten, to put in front of there. I get to watch you paw at it for a while, Dre. It's, it's great.
Wait, is that why you keep sending me string in the mail, Mike? And actually, you have sent me string in the mail. That is not untrue, ironically.
It's the long game.
So to distract ourselves from talking Babylon 5, do any of you have advice on how to do a Macho Man? Because for whatever reason, I can't do it. And I don't, as weird as it sounds.
It's not just in the back of the throat. It's definitely in the chest. If you're usually pushing yourself from your diaphragm, you move that up and don't mess up, because if you put it in your throat, it's going to mess up your voice.
Don't mess. I'll have to work on that, but you're right. Yeah. Think about the chest.
Feel it. Your whole heart is turning into Macho Man. It's made of Slim Jims now. And it's you can embody the character.
Yeah, that is not hard for high school me to imagine. Now, by the way, actually, Mike, as a shocker, it's time for a Dre tangent, which never shows up on the show. I have the right audience for this, and this failed, but I'm going to do it again because you re-explain jokes. I texted
and I was like, where? I want to go.
And my joke was I just took a picture of a cheap guitar I had bought at Five Below, the new dollar store. Because I don't know if you all know this. There's the hole in the middle of a guitar. And I said, see, Mike, I opened up the middle of the guitar. There's the center. But then also my phone wouldn't send the image. It was too big. So I thought, first off, I accept this is a bad dad joke. This is bad even by dad joke pun standards, but it failed even too on a musician level because I failed the timing because I was like, knock, knock. And Mike's, who's there? And then 2 hours later, I responded. So
the message said to me, hey, Mike, I just opened a Guitar Center. And that's all I got.
And yeah, so this is the Guitar Center crowd. I don't feel bad to have distracted briefly from Babylon 5.
Wait, I'm not taking any of your bait. I ain't going to that Five Below. I don't think it's real or anything.
Are Guitar Centers MLMs?
Probably.
Doing just great. And that's exactly the energy I'm going to bring here today. A lot of explosions, a lot of big energy here for the Babylon 5. Yeah.
A lot of big Babylon 5 energy, a lot of telepath energy coming on.
I was told that it was the ASMR hour here.
When we do our shows, Mike, I usually like to wait until before. It's a treat for me where before any given episode, I will rewatch the episode and whatever episodes I've missed in between. And then Mike has some amazing notes that go to MikeSlater.com. You share some of those. And it's like a double blast because I'm like, I want to watch the episode and I want to see what Mike thought. And then there are times when you notice something silly and I even have the same joke in my head where I think in season 1, Mike, there was one where you called the character a Muppet looking thing. And I said that as I was watching it and I opened your notes and you said it. And I was like, giddy.
We're on the Muppet Sync. Yeah. Well, my big secret for how I get through a lot of these, especially with season 5, is I have a browser plugin for Chrome called Transpose, which it's meant for musicians to use on YouTube so we can slow down and loop parts, but it works perfect for any video streaming service. So I can flip up that 100% to 200% time and watch everything twice as fast.
Oh, I've got a similar one. Just by the way, this is kind of a fun thing to check out. Sorry to steal Daniel's thing. It's called Video Speeder, but all it does is speed up or slow down. Does Transpose do anything else?
Yeah, Transpose does a lot, especially because as a musician, it can change not just the speed, but the key it's in. So a lot of rock groups, they down tune their instruments to E flat instead of E. So if you're a student or you're trying to learn a song, it's like something weird is going on because I'm playing guitar and it sounds all off. Well, I can just click my Transpose button on YouTube and hear it as if it were in standard tuning. So things like that, or then if I'm trying to slow down and learn a solo section, you just loop a section right on a YouTube video and you can have it go over and over to play along with. But yeah, it's perfect for rewatching Babylon 5 as well.
All I want to say is I'm really excited for in the next 10 years when someone finally redoes Babylon 5 and does it right. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we were to talk about that earlier, how they've tried and all they've gotten off the ground is the animated movie and stuff recently.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No.
I would even settle for a really good animated season or series. But
okay, by the way, we got to give past guest John Ryman magic powers. Because we asked him if he was going to watch any more Babylon 5. He's, man, I'd rather just watch more Firefly. And since that happened, they have announced a animated show of Firefly, which I'm mostly behind because it seems like Adam Baldwin's still involved, and that's an issue. And then, of course, Firefly is a Joss Whedon thing. So
yeah, it's like, no way Joss Whedon's doing it. Who's rebooting it?
If they do JMS, then I'm fully content. So but just to point out, like we're getting an animated Firefly reboot before Babylon 5, but it's what it is.
It is what it is.
Firefly is much, much higher in the cultural zeitgeist, though. I mean, even for another, underground show, there's a lot more people aware of Firefly.
Well, and you've got
Firefly.
You've got like Nate Fillion on, the most recent, the best, as we both agreed, right, Mike, Superman movie.
Yes, yeah. Now that monkey stamper is gone, we can both admit that's the best Superman movie.
Yeah, Dan, last question before you head off. You can stick in the background as we wrap, but opinions on the most recent Superman movie.
I mean, I loved it. I think it's a really good take. Both Lex Luthor, which I think is always hard to do, that Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor just wasn't it for me. And then I really love Henry Cavill and everything he does, but his Superman, trying to make a dark, gritty Superman just doesn't work. That's the whole point, is that he has to be a Boy Scout. And then you make this guy who is the Boy Scout. It's okay, cool. My only bummer is that, to me, Nathan Fillion is a Hal Jordan. I feel like
he was so good at he's both though. He's got so many.
But like the live action, I think it was 10 years ago. It's the same thing with him being like Drake from Uncharted, where he would have been the perfect casting for that 10, 15 years ago. He would have been a great Hal Jordan 5-10 years ago.
That what James Gunn was trying to cast him as in the MCU is Simon Williams. They had a bit part that got cut from Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy movie posters of Wonder Man with Nathan Fillion. And that would have been perfect because he's a great Emmy actor. Although we did just get a really good Wonder Man show, which is the first gem we've gotten in a while of any of the MCU stuff.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they're starting to slow down with their production, which is good because I think they're being like after phase 4, or was it phase 4, to be like, let's just pump everything out. And I was like, all right, I just can't watch 10 shows at once, and I need to watch 10 shows at once in order to get all the jokes.
We're going to have at least a bonus episode where I just get to lay out everything on the MCU. I mean, you go to MikeSlater.com, you can go see I have power rankings for every single one of the MCU entries that I keep, ongoing right now, that I think there's 2 or 3 things since we canceled Disney Plus that I haven't been able to see. I got to get back to that.
But to wrap it up, the Superman movie's great, and I think James Gunn is good for that because he understands that, like, with superhero movies, there has to be a level of brevity regardless of how serious you're taking it. Look at, like, the Suicide Squad or whatever versus the original Suicide Squad. Like, it has so many campy moments. It has a lot of tongue-in-cheek moments. The Peacemaker character, like, all of this is very good. But you can still be serious. You can still bring, like, good acting and, like, sentimental value. But, like, you're talking about people who can destroy the world in, the flick of a wrist. You have to make certain things funny. You have to make certain things light. And the way he handled it, even just the whole, like, Justice Guild or, like, Justice, like the non-Justice League, like Justice Friends,
Gang.
like,
that was what they called it.
Justice Gang, and it's like that. Just even that being like a thing. These are people that are like, oh, we're sponsored superheroes. So like, we're
James Gunn is one of the few directors in the MCU who is successfully able to make a movie his own. And unfortunately, he did it so good that you can see after Guardians is when every other Marvel movie started to get more and more quippy. And rewind a little. It worked really well in that part. If you want to make each movie its own thing, you have to give it its own thing. I mean, Black Panther, it had its own thing so well, it wasn't even much of a quippy movie. And they still forced a couple in.
And like the whole like arc of Thor, the first Thor being like a David Branagh, and then like Thor: The Dark World being like, okay,
Dark
whatever.
Fantasy.
And then, and then you get to, Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, where let's just be like funny and like stupid. And it's okay. The theme for that character is not the same the entire time. But like the theme for
it's a different character coming through.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and the only like Chris Hemsworth is the one that makes it almost connect because he had that comedian inside of him he was trying to do for the first couple movies is what he's talked about a lot. He brought more to it, and then they overboarded it into Love and Thunder.
Still haven't seen that. I've seen 1 and 3 for Thor. I haven't seen 2 and 4, and I've seen all locally.
I love the Dark World
just
because there's such good Loki moments, and I'm a huge Thor fan of the comics. But my favorite comic run of all time might be Jason Aaron's Thor run, and that's what they used for all of the Love and Thunder movie. But they took, I don't know, it's like a 10-year almost run and squashed it all into every plot line into one movie and then treated it like a joke. So that's one of the reasons why that movie didn't work. Thanks again for sticking around through all this. The Blitzcast was so much fun to put together. I can't believe we finally pulled it off. And it's kind of good to be at the end of everything. But after this, we're going to get back into your regularly scheduled Babylon 5 content for a few more episodes. Next week, we bring you the Fall of Centauri Prime from Season 5. Next week, we talk about Season 5, Episode 18, The Fall of Centauri Prime, with special guest Bill Johnston. Cheers, all.
Actually, I was going to say, I'm fine just keeping this kind of organic because we're at the start of it, but I do really actually love the mini episodes with the the music. Well, the music and you with the intro. I don't actually hate that up top on episodes. On any of my shows, on Nerd, on You Gotta Check This Out, I'm kind of, hit or miss as to if I do that, but I do love it. Your intro.
I didn't know we were going to go right into a music criticism essay at the top of the show, but I'm ready for it.
It's not a criticism. It's a delight.
Constructive criticism is what that is.
What is constructive criticism if I'm like, I really like that you do it and I don't do that and it makes me sad?
It's this weird thing with my brain where I will try and find anything that is a negative about it and turn that into a way I can improve things. So it comes from, I mean, we can go into my psychology, like when I was like beaten up a lot as a kid by my peers, and I never feel like I'm a one with a group, which is kind of why I have to do things like make a podcast with all of my friends to get them together. So I feel like I have people together in my life.
I was recently telling a friend about when we're talking criticism and a weird weakness of my own, which is, and you know this, Mike, I get so excited that I assume that me jumping into the details is not just tacit agreement, it's overwhelming agreement. And after the fact, realizing, oh, they never got that's amazing.
Premise.
That's great. I love what you're saying. I'm fully on board. You're amazing. It sounds more as you're saying criticism. Because I'm saying, that's great, I'm on board, let's go, very ADHD brain, and forgetting to give the feedback, like the positive feedback. So it's funny because even here, I wasn't criticizing, it's ironic, I wasn't criticizing you, I was criticizing me, but I see your point. Because what I'm saying is, I love the if people out there, if this makes the final cut, if you love the mini episodes, which I absolutely do, where Mike pulls scraps from the show, things that we agree to talk about but don't fit the flow of the episode, but we still want to make sure you hear. Mike releases mini episodes bi-weekly if you're only hearing this on patreon.com/Jeff May. And I really love, the intro thing, which is a common podcast thing, to have the music kind of get people in the brain space to know what's coming. And I do like that. And like your WrestleMania intro that you did there, I'm like, that has to be how this show is introduced.
Yeah. The Minisode theme was fun because like I was playing fretless bass again in a band. I have to do a theme that's centered around a fretless bass. So you got
like I can hear it like that one. That is one of you've done a lot of really good themes.